Hey, what is going on, you Star vs. the Force of Evil fans? You know the exact reason why you clicked on this video. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be analyzing the new teaser for Star vs. the Force of Evil, also known as the very first, the second movie ever to be released on Disney XD. I honestly would count Gravity Falls as the second one, however it is technically 2 episodes matched together. But at the same time, I guess I could call this the third movie considering the fact that this is 4 episodes put together to make a 2-hour special. But let's get straight into the video and let's try to analyze as much as this clip as we can. Now for this video, I'm going to put down the links for everything at the bottom below in the description, so that way if you're ever curious to know where I got some of my information from, then well, there you go. Okay, now let's not waste any more time. Let's get started with this thing. Yeah! Okay, so the first thing I want to point out there is the spell and what exactly is being said. I call the darkness upon me. From deepest depths of earth and sea, to blackest might I pledge my soul, and crush my heart to summon forth a deathly power, to see my hated foe devoured. Wow, well that was possibly the darkest spell that I've ever heard in my entire life. And plus, that accent, it sounds familiar. And now that I think about it, this could be Moon Butterfly. You can definitely tell just listening to her accent and the way she's saying it, this cannot be Star saying this. This could derive from a potential flashback between Toffee and Moon Butterfly when they first fought each other. Once again, if we were to go back to the episode Into the Wand and remember the Grandma Room, there was a tapestry made specifically for Moon Butterfly explaining that she used one of the darkest spells known to Moon the Undaunted, aka herself. And you know, this spell is perhaps so dark that this could possibly be Eclipsa chanting this spell. But truthfully, without a shadow of a doubt, I personally believe that this is from Queen Butterfly. It just would be one of those elements that would tie in with the episode perfectly. Especially considering the fact that at the very end of this clip, Toffee is heard in the background saying this.
Have you learned nothing?
And before I actually dissect why he's saying that, let me go back to the beginning of this teaser trailer and try to analyze it from the beginning. Now, starting at the very beginning of the teaser trailer, we see a monster's foot. I even dared to try and go to different episodes in order to see if there were a foot similar to this one's. Perhaps this is also part of the flashback that Moon Butterfly was in, and maybe these were the times when the monsters begin to start rebelling against Mewni. Or it could also just be a glimpse from the fight between Star and Toffee. Maybe Toffee unleashed the forces of evil and this is just one of the monsters. Or maybe I'm just overdoing it. Or in this case, this could be a fight between Star and Ludo, because according to the episode description, Star returns to her home dimension and she discovers that magic is disappearing throughout the kingdom. Star must dig deep and challenge her arch nemesis Ludo in an effort to save her family and kingdom. But at the same time, they could be just referring to the fact that Toffee is still inside of Ludo's body and he's the reason why that all of this is happening. And after witnessing the episode Star Crushed, we did see that Toffee was the one responsible for stealing everyone else's powers. And now let's jump on to the topic of the second scene. In this short clip, we see that the wand is glowing and someone is obviously handling it. Now, presumably, this is Star getting ready to fight Ludo, or, well, technically Toffee. Because remember, evidence is the fact that whenever someone else's touches her wand, it changes into a different form. And then now, the next image. This is a shriveled up form of Toffee's hand, but it could also be the animators putting more definition into his hand. And just by looking at the background surrounding the hand, it looks to be prior to the events of when Ludo first found the wand. And you know what, now that I think about it, maybe Toffee's hand just shriveled up and turned into a bone because it was away from his body parts for a long time. Which would also explain why Toffee did this in the episode Star Crushed. Oh yes, and one last thing, it also seems to be simultaneously glowing the same time that Star's wand is. So this could be potentially yet another flashback explaining how Toffee came back. And if you still aren't convinced, take a look at this scene. This must be a flashback showing what had happened when Ludo first got the wand. Now remember, during this scene, we see Ludo on top of the spider and the bird beside it. But if you were to go back and remember the episode Star Crushed, man, that episode is extremely important. Hekapu had separated both the bird and the spider from Ludo when she had sent them both to a different dimension, most likely on Earth. And let's also not forget about the fact that Moon Butterfly seemed to have sent the rats into a different place as well. Or at least most of them, since we do see some of them left behind. Ooh, and now this one. And after examining this one, you would assume this is Moon Butterfly. And guess what? You would be correct. If you were to simply compare the scene that's happening right now with the wand and the darkness surrounding it with Moon Butterfly's tapestry, you can clearly see some sort of darkness aura surrounding her wand. Same thing that's happening in this scene. So oh no, these aren't ordinary mist clouds. This is coming from the darkest spell that Moon Butterfly had ever cast. And this is also justification that the spell being said throughout the entire teaser is most likely from her. Alright, so this upcoming scene is just like what we had to do with Gravity Falls. We basically have to slow down the scene in order to see something quite interesting. The explosion happens pretty fast, but if you were to slow down and go back to the beginning of it, you can clearly see that this is Ludo standing right by the explosion happening. This could be deriving from when Star first confronts Ludo, considering the fact that there is a purple pinkish spell being casted in the explosion. Okay, now this is pretty cool. Who else thought of Enchantress? Alright, but on a serious note, at first I thought this was Star's or Moon Butterfly's Mewni coming in, but that's just stupid. That didn't make any sense. So coming from my personal perspective, the only thing I can assume looking at this is that this is the first time Moon Butterfly has ever casted the dark spell. So basically with that being said, this is most likely the dark spell overtaking Queen Butterfly. Or the flip side of the scene is that she actually is in control of her powers, and this is what's supposed to happen whenever the spell is being taken in place. Yes, and also another way to tell that this is Moon Butterfly is by checking out the armory that she's wearing, and also the very last frame from this scene that we can see is a small part of her diamond-shaped cheek pattern. Quite interesting if I do say so myself. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the moment that you've all been waiting for, the question that remains still after this entire thing. Why does Toffee at the very end of this say, "Have you learned nothing?" This could be Toffee confronting with Moon Butterfly once more, possibly explaining the fact that she knows nothing about him, and that she underestimated him. A perfect example is when Toffee first met up with Moon Butterfly once more. You can tell that it was extremely unexpected, and of course it was definitely something that Queen Butterfly was not prepared for. However, another thing that could possibly happen is Toffee talking to Star, which would also make sense because of his supposal death in the episode Storm the Castle. And of course, from what we've seen, that was not the case. And I mean, heck, for all we know, maybe this is part of the reason why Toffee said that. This would also kind of explain why we're most likely going to see a flashback. And yeah, that's basically it, guys. We haven't seen any characters from the High Commission. I mean, I guess this is the teaser trailer for the 2-hour premiere, so I guess that was very expected of them to not show anything like that. And at the same time, this is only me assuming the fact that the High Commission will be shown during the premiere. It could be possible that we might be able to see them once again at the very end of the premiere. My theory is that at the very end, hopefully they'll try to get rid of Toffee somehow, and since there is a spell to take away energy from people, or well, in this scenario, magic from people, there should most likely be a reverse spell. Kinda like the reverse spell that Star was casting when she was trying to do a suck-in portal. And well guys, it's officially the end of my video. I hope you all enjoyed. Please give this video a like if you haven't yet. Same thing with subscription. If you have not subscribed, subscribe right now or else I will be very disappointed in you. And I was supposed to do another video today, something to do with a Q&A, but I guess I'll have to do that on Monday, I believe. But in the meantime, peace. Catch you guys in the next one.